Sidebar. Do you realize on just an okay or even on a mediocre level who are just good, really, really good at faking it? Really, really good at putting on a show to make you believe and everybody else believe that they are the ish, that they are the one, when in reality they're actually just pretty basic. And that is where we have to pull ourselves away from this idea of competition and just focus on ourselves. As we go through life, naturally we find ourselves subconsciously competing against other people. And it really starts like in childhood, right? As kids, there is competition related to everything. Who is the coolest? Who's the most popular? Who's the best in sports? Who's the prettiest? Who has the best hair? All of these things. They even have those different contests in the yearbooks, right? And as we get older, it continues. Who's going to get the job? Who's going to get the promotion? Who's going to get the best client? Who's going to get the speaking engagement? And I realized that people are so busy focused on competition that they hardly have time to focus on themselves. And while I understand that there are some industries, like obviously athletics, where you cannot avoid competition, so to speak, the reality is, in most other situations, we cannot spend our lives focusing on competing with other people. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of expertise, accolades, number of years of experience, or skill set your competition has, you should be able to offer something different and valuable that they don't offer, which is what will set you apart, right? And that is what makes you your own competition. Focus on that and just focus on being the best you that you can be without worrying about the next person. I remember when I first became a lawyer and I used to go to court and watch other lawyers and just see what, how it's supposed to be done. I'm watching the vets, right? I'm brand new in this game. I'm going to court, watching the attorneys and just seeing what they do. And I remember seeing this one lawyer and they just had me mesmerized, like in awe. And I remember saying, I'm going to do that one day. I remember saying, man, they are so dope in the courtroom, the way they present, they had a large team, the way that they handled their trial, all of these things, all of these elements, the judge respected them, the other attorneys respected them. And it was like full-blown war zone in the court as far as the case was concerned. But at the end of the day, I was amazed. I was impressed, right? And I remember working really, really hard and saying, I'm going to have a team like that one day. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Anyways, fast forward years and years later, when I started working with a lot of celebrities and started handling a lot of the more high profile, high net worth, complex cases, right? And I remember I got a few cases from the firm that this lawyer owns, and they were shifting from that firm to come to my firm. So when lawyers transfer cases, they also have to transfer the files. So I would get the files that they had in their office for the client, and I would have to review them so that I could be up to speed and know what was going on for the, the hearings and things like that I was going to be handling moving forward. And I'm going through the files, organizing, me and my team are doing our review and analysis of the file in the case. I realized that I had been straight bamboozled. When I say I was looking at these documents like, they really filed this? And I was like, this was their argument? Like, this is what they thought they were going to win with? This is what they said when they were in court? They didn't do anything different. They didn't do anything extra. The writing in a lot of instances was mediocre. And I just realized, like, looking at the file, I was like, man, I'm over here working my behind off on some, I'm going to do what they do. And I'm looking at what they did. And now I'm like, I'll never do what they do. So I said all that to say, like, the reality is that people are just really good at putting on a show, right? When you walk into the courtroom, you see this attorney, you would have no idea that when you pull back the curtain, it was a whole disorganized mess. And they were charging buku money for this foolishness. And so at the end of the day, focusing on yourself and realizing that you are your best competition and you don't really need to be worried about everybody else because you don't know what they got going on in real life. And I always like to say, competition, what competition? There really ain't no competition if you're just doing you, right?